Not claro.
Hello, dear brothers and sisters.
Hey, Krisa, parle kenal lah.
We
Hello.
welcome all of you in the wonderful name of Jesus.
Jisu min rau kwal cham min hendak nekit sebagai kampung na.
We are so delighted to have you.
Ngai hen lok lekai kan ti kan sinak nanong lok korona.
We continue our studies about the Synoptic Gospels.
Synoptic Gospel tumi ka kan hong adom not lai tu zan lai kan kom.
Synoptic Gospel, as you know, that it's Matthew, Mark, and Luke.
Kan thai ra hoin kan Matthew, Mark le Luke ti Synoptic Gospel kan sin ro hoin kan.
And to my understanding, your teacher has also prepared something in your language.
Rồi cái mình cho nên mà họ lên kan nên master này không kan để til mojo tim tu ading kan kelong om.
So your teacher is very advanced.
Rồi nên master itu advance tau.
So let's see what we have today.
Kan zola nek zai reng kan nei tu lai hi.
We will be learning about the parables of Jesus Christ and how to interpret it.
Jesus Christ ne ta thim nak tu sim mi thu le zai hoen kan interpret with the law sim phiang ding mi thu vi kan nó sin at cho.
So let's have a word of prayer.
Tong tai la ri.
Father, we pray that you bless our time of learning your word.
Tu nong thu kan sin ding me le kan hun plai la pa na mal no som ding hen ta ko hong cham si la pa.
Bless our teacher.
Kan master ma long som le.
Bless our interpreter.
Kan họ le tu hom pla ma long som le.
Let everything would go with the wonderful flow.
Kan sin mi zong zong pla he pa ta kan kal luang so na ding hen.
And touch our lives by the power of your word.
Tu nong thu tak ni hin kan tin lung le kan nong nak pa hi la pa na me kan sin thu hong sim le.
As we learn, we apply your word in our lives.
Kan sin mi thok kan hin kan dam niu ni huna hin kan bang kho nak ding kan tang pi ro.
And we teach your word to others.
Ini tu nong thu hi ma dang rang sin tin nak kan pe kho nak ding hen.
In your precious name we pray.
Min thiang lim le ro ko tak men hen zong chu kan dai si.
Amen.
Amen.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Shalom.
So today we're going to do something a little different.
Soon he kan sinding mi hito tang dawan kan hong talai.
For about 2 weeks, I think we have studied the parable of the sower.
So kami kar he chi vor tu thong tanga hin nan sinding hen kan kelung om.
And I showed through this parable how to study a parable and how to interpret a parable.
Lo kan sintin na mo kan tin tu hi ta thip nak tu he ten kan sinding le ten kan sim fyang ding tin tu he kan sintin na lai.
Now I have done all the work.
Ekte kan ai bắt lâu la.
So today what I would like to do with you is take a parable and that together we're going to study it and to interpret it.
Jan suna kan ting me so ta thip nak tu pakhat kan hong lak la le. So mi thok kan hong sin na le kan hong sim fyang dang ka mi ka hong set cho.
So if you have a Bible, you turn to Luke 18 verse 1 to 8.
Luke Bible hi na nation hong za ule Luke 18 verse 1 to 8.
Yes.
18 verse 1 to 8. Luke 18 verse 1 to 8 ka hong za ule. Luke lai riat chan khat tok khan chan riat tiang hi ran na ka nga parable sintir dan le sim fyang dan hi kan hong sinat chu. Tabu Bible no kha nan nei vi om chon hong lak hong mang chiu le.
Charlie is going to put on the screen the method how to study a parable that we're going to use now.
ตัวหิน parable ตัวมีจะตัวนักผู้เหมาะกันของสิ้นดึงมีหีสกรีนแล้วก็หินดอกจานนี่กันของตัวมีหีกับของเจ้ากันของเจ้าหลายกันเอกเตหัน
Okay.
And what I have tried to do, you tell me if it is correct or incorrect or useful or not useful. I have found a translator and I've put that parable through the translator. So tell me if it is, if you can understand it, if it is readable.
Yes, it is readable. Yes, yeah, readable.
I thought that when we go through the parable, I will use the English text, and then you can adapt whatever in the translation. That's not
อันนี้นี่จนที่ parable ที่ Bible ของเราถึงมี English Bible ของบางอันแหละขณะจะมีหอบตั้งค่านั่นนี่จนนั่นบางเขาก็ติ
Okay, now let's take the first. Okay, the first point of the method is choose a text and border it. That we have done is Luke chapter 18, verse 1 to 8.
ประคัดนักกันไทยถึงมีเทโจเอามาซาจะมันกันกระจับจะกันของทีมละแหละจะมีนู้นกันถึงถึงมีตลาดโจเขามีบอร์ดดิ้งฮิตเตอร์กันคุมฮิตเตอร์ฮีกันเดลัตนักมันเนี่ยลูกบงเลยเรียจังคัดต่อกันจานเรียเตียงฮีกับซิมไลที่กันทั้งนักกันในมาซาดิ้งที่โจ
So I don't know, Pastor Lord, if it is possible, but the second point is that we have to read the text maybe in two translations. Is that possible?
เพราะว่าจะมี text กันของจูสก็รอกันของทั้งก็รอเขามีค่ะอะตอมในการเห็นกันหิน Bible อาเลมีค่ะบาร์สันกับบังบัดเรารวมกันเพราะอาเลมีปนิตัลเห็นกัน Bible พัดเก้าเรียลเราเห็นกันปนิตัลเรียลดิ่งหีชาติ
Do you have two translation in the
Not yet.
group?
We had only one translation.
One translation.
Yes. So today we have today English version. We had in our language.
Yeah. So you have the English version and the is it the Bangla version?
Yeah, we had Bangla version and our language Bawm version also.
And do you have those two versions in the group?
Yes, we had.
Okay.
We had.
Could someone read the first version and verse by verse, and someone else the second version, verse by verse?
Okay, to me tua Bible hi bunyi Bangla mo kan ma Bawm han mo kami hi English mo kami version hi railing amasahan kan kan dai jo kurangan puta Bible umi ma Bangla han amo hong relo nek.
Now what I would like that they are aware is when they read the text, is there a difference in the translation?
Ranga jon peni rending hen hat na san jo adang lam nakha anong le dan nakha kan dang lam nakha umplat Bible kha thula kha ranga kan sti umjata jo.
And to see if those difference are important.
Ranga kan kami adang lam nak tak kha her mi si.
Okay. So you can start.
Yes, now I will read in my Bawm language. Okay. Chon lung dong lau han than cham kum za ding si ti thai nak ding han chi roi tla sin na ta thim thu sim. Zai khua mo lai re tu phat le chuni chun pathian ati lo le. Minung khom asun sak lo. Chon chu khua chun num mai pakhat le ani chu kalai daw laka phu hong kalam pet ti han asina akal kum za. Chon so tak adu lo le sikom sele ani nuna chon sin lung han pathian ti lo han minung sun sakla khom sele hi no mai ni hin akanok te ronga apu kalam piak lai chulau chon ahong kal nget lai le ahong kam te lai ati chon lalpa ni laril tu rep lau tu sim chu thai u an laka adon brik ham sele ami team asun azan hen ama ko tu la pu chu pathian ni alam piak lai lo ma kanan simna an pu alam piak som lai sikom sele menung fo pa hi hong kaltika chon lai ko la hin lungnak hong mu lai ma zai ati and then we have to read in Bengali Bangla hen Bible dan kira dan naimi ma hello
Do you think they can feel the difference in the wording?
yeah so I'm asking them to read
Okay.
nan Bible dan naima real ding mi nan kira bang
Ikan naipu korn
mi hong real nik adang lamnak zai nan mu de
গ্রেলা শিষ্যেরা যাতে সব সময় প্রার্থনা করে এবং নিরাশ না হয় সেই শিক্ষা দেওয়ার জন্য যিশু তাদের এই উদাহরণ বললেন কোনো এক শহরে একজন বিচারক ছিলেন তিনি ঈশ্বরকে ভয় করতেন না এবং মানুষকেও গ্রাহ্য করতেন না সেই শহরের একজন বিধবা ছিল সে বারবার এসে তাকে বলতো ন্যায় বিচার করে আমার বিপক্ষের বিরুদ্ধে রায় দিন সেই বিচারক কিছুদিন পর্যন্ত কিছুই করলেন না কিন্তু শেষে তিনি মনে মনে বললেন যদিও আমি ঈশ্বরকে ভয় করি না এবং মানুষকেও গ্রাহ্য করি না তবু এই বিধবা আমাকে বিরক্ত করছে বলে আমি তার পক্ষে ন্যায় বিচার করব তা না হলে সে বারবার আসবে আর তাতে আমি ক্লান্ত হয়ে পড়ব এরপর প্রভু আরো বললেন ন্যায় বিচার না হলেও তিনি কি বললেন তা ভেবে দেখো তাহলে যারা ঈশ্বরকে দিন রাত ডাকে ঈশ্বর কি তার সেই বাছাই করা লোকদের পক্ষে ন্যায় বিচার করবেন না তিনি কিছু তা করতে দেরি করবেন না আমি তোমাদের বলছি তিনি তাদের পক্ষে ন্যায় বিচার করতে দেরি করবেন না কিন্তু মনুষ্যপুত্র যখন আসবেন তখন কি তিনি পৃথিবীতে বিশ্বাস দেখতে পাবেন
yeah we read it
Okay, now do you see some difference in the way they are translated?
nan mu ma hi adang lamnak bom han krel mi le hi bangla nan hong rel mi lakin adang lamnak ke nan thai khau ma nan tlai khau ma ti
Which in your eyes is the better wording, the better translation, the clearer translation?
hina an hong le mi kha tua bangla hin hong rel mi chu NIV he chon kani bom Bible le chu today English version thon le mi sela hi mi hi abang lo nak la hi umma ti
As someone a thought?
yeah chon pathian adik lo le we have to see I think either
Yeah, you would have to put the two texts together.
yes.
To be,
Excuse
okay,
me, Evelyn.
but that's
Excuse me, Evelyn.
yeah.
Can you roll the screen from your end? Can you
Yes.
change?
I cannot.
You cannot.
It doesn't move. I
It
don't have
doesn't.
to.
Okay. Because somehow I need little break for maybe 10 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
How should we put that? Okay. Can we see now? Can you see it?
I see the text, yes, the whole translation, yeah.
Okay. And the English one you have?
The English one I have, yeah.
Okay, great. So I will be back very soon.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
So we have excuse me, this little point we cannot really study together. We're going to put the next one, and the next one is to look at the context. So one of you can tell me what is the context that comes before the parable. Not read,
Yeah.
just tell me what comes before the parable, and what do you think is the connection between the context, the text before, and the parable.
Hemi kan hong rel rojon. Hemi kan rel mi thokan hin adung lei kanga hemi ta thim nak thu hi hong sok lat nak hi hemi ghotona jai mo ummi hoi. Hemi kha jai hoi han kan at lai khau mila hi thu hong sim khau mila tum cho. Jisu hong kal nak dengan sintir nak set mo. Yes. This is the teaching on the coming of Jesus Christ. Yes, before that.
Yes, and but just for example, the context would be the last part of the chapter 17.
Yeah, the last part of chapter 17 is
the coming of the kingdom.
Yeah, the coming of kingdom. Yes, the coming of kingdom. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What could be the connection between this coming of the kingdom and the parable of Luke 18?
Hey, ang temi chu na bunglay sri nak adong lay cham nak tua hin ram lalpa ram hong plung ding mi tua kan sinten nak pek mi sele. Kro chon tu mi himi ta thim nak tu parable hen zai atlai nak tu nan thai bak ma. Kan rel mi laka.
Okay, what is the theme of Luke 18?
Luke bunglay riat tupi zai si ti. Thai khau ma. Kan rel mi laka hin tlai khau ma zai thu sim mi dan chu tan lai kang chu parable sim dan kha sinat mi surongam kha. Hong rel khom nan rel mi ko salon kan zau khom zau ding ngai at thu ka thai ding ngai at chu. Yes, he teach about on prayer.
Okay. He teaches on prayer. What does Jesus tell his disciple?
So that they could not they could be stronger, and they could be always put faith in Jesus, so that they could be strengthened.
Yes.
So
and you remember the parable of the wise woman and the foolish woman.
Yeah.
And there also there is a call to prayer.
Yeah. Ya kan sin mi lakahin atopi umjia cho Jisu ni thiroi la ka bertakkan adum konak dengan anlung tong lonak dengan kan sintena apek nami ti kenuna kan ong sin nol mi chu ne ka nuak kan lim pra panga ami panga fing mi thu kha ka thu kha ong ka ong lai ter mi ro.
Keep that in mind. The theme of the parable is the theme of prayer. And if you read the parable, you see that it is Jesus calls the people to pray and pray and pray and never stop praying.
Tumi dan tak ke zan le kanga tom kan tai na san tu kan lung fiang khau nak dengan kan hi mi parable timi tai ta thip nak thu ji su ni sim mi hi zai ruanga simi timi thu khang kan thok ter le timi to kan tong tai nak thu ji su ni thi we ta na tong tai o nan dir khau nak dengan nan dir khau nak dengan ten kan tumi thu ka sin te na mi thu se.
And then he asks us a question at the end of this parable that has really made me thinking a lot.
Ruanga kan he dong nak le ka ngami ni kan hong rel vi ma chun cher khat ngai to naka hong kan pek.
And he says, when the Son of Man comes, will he find faith on earth?
Ruanga chun tonal mi chu jisu dong nak cem le ka ngat mi ka dong cem kor le ka hong sim কিন্তু মানুষের যখন আসবেন তখন কি তিনি পৃথিবীতে বিশ্বাস দেখতে পাবেন লুং নাক কে amu khot ma jisu christ hong kal chun hilai ko la tumi kan pangain kan ngai to na hong ko pek de.
So we have on chapter 17 we have the idea of Christ coming, the coming back of Christ.
Bonga ina bunglai sin nak atong nak lek chama kan hong thai mi juk kan pa jisu christ ta hong kol nak thu hen hong tong ro chon ina ta thim nak thu kan hong dom chom lai riat nak.
The parable talks about praying and keeping on praying.
Ronga hemi parable zau ten nak ta thim nak thu ni bunglai riat nak hong sim mi chu tong trai nak thu kha sim.
Okay, and now tell me what is the context after the parable.
Karo chon hemi parable ta thim nak thu a hin the context je ro khmi ni nu nak kan jai hang dom ro Pharisees and tax collector about.
And what is the theme of that parable?
Himi parable the chapter 18. Chapter 18.
Verse 9 you can take.
Hina holnaka parable he chapter bunglai riat nak chan ku thui hol nak kan hong scenes chun parable te he ta thim nak thu he hong simling le chu athupi jai salaro ne atle. Yes, we have to read. Without reading I think we might not able to know.
Okay, they don't have a Bible.
Yes.
Okay, you can
read.
Yeah.
He chan ku nak tu he kan hong zo phone tro mane thupi hong ka thai tret mi chan ku nak he tu bom lai kang han kong ri lai chon mirep aruathan midang zong zo no ton tu outla mo sina chon hi ta thim thu khom hi jisu ni asim mi pini biak ina tha cham ding han an kal le pakhat chu free side le pakhat chu sia khol tu chon free side la only verse 9.
Yeah, only verse 9 because when we come at the end of the parable then we come to understand why.
Yes. Now it is between like Pharisees and tax collector.
Yeah.
Two of them they went to in the church for praying.
Exactly. So we have two kinds of prayer.
Yeah, hina hin zai tinan mu ro trong trai zat ni kha hi mi la ka khan kong rel mi la ka khan nan mu la kan thai la kha ti. Yes.
So it's really the theme around prayer and Jesus puts it in the context of his kingdom.
Jisu ni hi mi trong trai thu hi hong siam nak than tak chu alal ram zau tin nak kan hong siam mi sala.
Okay, now I've talked just a minute ago about the wise woman and the foolish woman, so that answer the point. Look for parallels, either in another gospel or in a theme in the Bible. But I think we can stop with the foolish and wise woman.
Kakarwanga hina hin tua look ni hina hin tu suna kan hong zau mi la ka hin Simmi hi kina mifing nuna nunga tadi pengale pralaka pengafing pengami hen artlang hoen kan hong kalmi so kamla jo kami tu juga hong simala role deh.
Okay, now can you tell me in the parable of Luke 18, can you tell me what is the introduction and the conclusion?
Rồi chun hi tua hong kan dai mi chun nan hong sang ding mi chu luk bung lai riat chan khat tok kan chan ku tiang hina hin jalap parable ta thim thu ji su ni simmi hi introduction adok nak le conclusion adok nak hi jai hoi mi thu si hong simuti.
You, Pastor Lol, they don't have the
Yeah.
text of the parable.
Yeah, they have.
They have it.
Yeah, I asked them.
Okay.
Or I will give answer.
Okay.
Hong sang onek baka nanay bak ma. They adok tira mi introduction kazay si. Jun adok nak le kang re zay hoi mi si. Ti nan thai phiang khau ma te.
Okay. What do they say is the introduction?
Introduction laka adok nak laka zay thu sim. Tu mi thu laka na thai khau ma.
So when you look at the first verse,
Vars pakat naka kan hong za usun.
he
Lung
says,
dong lau han.
and he told them,
Pray consistently.
yes, and in the English, the one I have, it says, pray and not lose heart.
Karena English translation pakat te kan pinu ne pakat nai mi he cho tong tai ole nan thin long kha di tir mo chao tir lau han kak tir lau te.
Now, why would people, when they pray, they would lose heart, meaning they don't pray anymore because they don't see any result?
Ronga mi tam tak ni jan tak translation pakat la ka hong nai mi ha cho hong sim fiang mi tin mo lung dong ta thap le la hin ka jai ronga minung lahi an lose an tin mo an tong tai lo mi chun result ka an mu lo ronga te.
And we have in Switzerland, we have I mean, in my eyes, quite a big question about that, because prayer meetings in churches are diminishing because people don't believe in the power of prayer.
Ronga ni ka pinu nak Switzerland rama kan nak la khom kan kal tam loro tong tai lo ti ranga chun hi tong tai nak kan ka result ka an mu lo rong kan an lose kan a chao mi ro chu.
Okay, now we come to I want to come to the question to ask to identify the focus of the parable.
Ronga hen dai nan kan du mi cho hilaka hin ina parable ta thip nak thu ni hin zai reng ka focus kan akhit dau mi chu.
Okay, can you tell me what words are repeated several times in the parables?
Hi dau ta thip nak thu la ka hin zai tin mi uat ka not mang min uat ka nan hong sim khla ma te. Yes.
Okay, they can.
Thai ma.
Is there a word that is repeated?
Nan tong khau ma kala ka not mang mi thu fa. Nan thai mi nan mu bang ma.
lại rèn là
Okay. Do you have two words that are yes?
Judgment, he said.
Justice.
Mm.
Yes, that's good.
Mhm. Mhm.
And how many characters are in the parable?
Hin ta thêm nạc là cái hình character rất nên mũ khẩu tí. Character ka rất. Character.
Yeah, people. How many people in the?
Menung pesat hela kan dan mũ khẩu tí. Menung pesat hela ka larel tu. Chun. Arum bre menung numaino. Oh. So yes, here is widow.
There's a widow.
Yes, a widow and disciple. Kena numaino. Chun Jisu thiroi tla. Chun aum bre hong menung hong holu bak eh.
Okay, there is a widow. There is a judge.
And the disciple.
And there are no disciple, but there are an adversary.
Advisory.
Adversary. In verse 3.
Verse 3. Follow Bible dạo ấy bác ấy. Ao ka numai. Chú khua chú numai pakat lại chú kalai daw laka pu hong kalak piak tihan sina kalkum za.
Is that okay?
Yes.
So now we have a judge, we have a widow, and we have an adversary. And who represent, because a parable is always an image of something. So if we say who represent the widow?
Hilakahin takim nak tulak na chun represent mi ka. Ruang rula mo jay ruang rula mo pakat ni kan hong dat mi mo ai o mi ka ngelcel ruang kan numai numai hi ruang rula tau mi laro hi numai hi.
Because we have seen in the parable of the summer that God is the one who saw.
Ruang hina kan thai dengai mi chu Pathian si hina hin mumi.
So here who represent the widow?
Hi numai ruang rula numai hi ruang rula numai ummi ro hina hin sala nan pu mi umbak ma.
She's a widow, she's a victim, she's a woman.
Papi. Na chani naka adin mo chu chai kho mo lairil tu pakhat le chuni chon pithian ati lo le minung khom asun sak lo chon chukho a chon numai pakhat le ani chu kalai daw lak a pu hong kalam pek ti hen in a akal kum za ti arin
Mi ka numai hina ho tel mi hi ruang rula istin mo ka ta thim nak thu ruang khan mo numai ka min chun hong to phat ko le ka zai salaro zai represent milaro zai hini za utar milaro tum jo.
Okay. They don't know.
Yeah.
So the woman represent us.
Hi nu nào ni chun ni numai nu ni chun kan mak tu chu. Kan mak ka hong kan ma kha za utar mi. represent me kan
Yeah.
ma asim hep kalau ruang kan numainu tan kan Jisu ni ta thip thu ka kan ekte lai ko menung la kan numainu ta arin mi tu jo kami ka thai
Now-
fiang ting
We have been something has been stolen from us.
ruang ma thok kan thil dang zai mo kha an fir mi
So who is the adversary? Who is the enemy?
ao ka kan advisory le kan lay dau sa do ne an tu jo ala ro kan advisory kan enemy kan lay dau ao sala
Setan.
Yeah, exactly.
setan rikti
The enemy is really the devil, is Satan, the one who has stolen. Now, in a parable, there's always the presence of God.
parable là các thầy tiếng mình chụp thiên dây liều giống akan thiên giờ lâu nạc ha thalak mo ala ama dong rola an sim nak si
Now, where is God in the parable?
ta thêm nak thu là cái hin thiên rong rul hi dây sala ro
Or who is God? Who is God in the parable?
thiên hi hina hin min hong siam hap mi hi ong rin mit la jam nak ka hi ao sala ro hi parable hi ta thêm nak thu jisu nong sim mi la cái hin thiên hi ao rang akan azalo tur mi ro thầy kalama
Eh?
Lai riel tu
judge
Yes,
judgment
the judge represents in
judge,
this
yeah.
parable God. It is terrible.
Hi lai rel tu hi cho thiên dạo ternak si ternak
I mean, when we read about that judge, he doesn't fear God. He doesn't respect men. He doesn't care about anybody. You wonder why did he become judge?
hina kan hina hin lai rel tu senak tu kha hina kan piang tak kan sim nak si
I mean, we cannot even think about a judge who prefers injustice to justice.
ronga kan thai fiang khalau nak mi cho zai mi dik nak kan lai rel nak la dik lau nak lai rel nak ta man kan thai fiang khalau mi la
A judge had to be wise, had to be gentle, had to be humble.
ronga lai rel tu itu dik nak anai ding anau ter ding malakan pat nak pa anai ding
He had to love God, he had to love truth, and he had to love man.
thiên đang ra phản đinh địch nạc độ đinh pom đinh menung không ra phản đinh thế
And here we have a judge that is above everything and doesn't care.
cái đó nga thế này lại tụ cái này là thiếu trong đây giống anh ấy hấp không là chỗ đây không phải xuân sạc lâu
Now we know that God is not like this.
không sẽ là chỗ cái này thiên cái lông mới chỗ khỏi lâu thế
So why did Jesus put in this parable this judge that is representing somehow God?
nga di suani hina hin lại tụ thu hong sim nak sampak chỗ thiên này lại tụ sim nak là cả adang nak cả si
Now, I don't have time to go to study the whole parable because it will take too much time. But just to say that for the Jews in the time of Jesus, God was a judge.
cái đó nga cái liều hồ di số hôn liều akan Zodat lah silakan lari tu kacau petian si.
And they had the idea of a God that was all powerful, that didn't care if it was, if he does something, he didn't care. He cared about what he wanted, not about people.
Di sini tu sekalian kan lari tu asanakan kan petian itu, kuri jauh nak laka kuri cakung kasih.
that he was always looking upon people to beat them up if they made a mistake.
Ruang akan saya zong akan memenung kelaka apal nak laze zai kla na ta la coin kan abi kan amu ko.
So they had, if they wanted to have some justice, they had to go and knock at the door and knock and knock and knock.
Ruang akan kami laril tu dik kau nak dengan tu le hol han tang ding ngai kik ding ngai.
Without the certainty to get an answer.
Ruang akan kalau orang tu le kami dik nak tu sang nak tak akan tong kalau.
And you know, when you go to God like this,
Point kan petian kai nak kan honai sing.
and in our time, many people still consider God as a judge.
Ruang akan hun akan petian itu amak petian dik nak lah kan thai ding ngai.
And when they pray, they have the feeling that God closes his ears and don't listen.
Ruang akan kan thai ding ngai mi tu tong tai nak kan tong tai mi lah kan adik lo mai please excuse me. Hey.
And you know,
Oh.
if we think that God is a judge and not our father,
Ruang petian itu kan pa le kan petian si.
how can we keep on praying?
Ruang zai tin kan tong tai nak lah kan zai zong akan kan lah kan siap kum za kan nai kum za ding.
How can we not lose heart?
Zai tin han kan he kan thin lung he lose kan mo zang tak kan mo bir lo han kan siap kau lo la tenak.
You know, that widow, she asked until she got an answer.
Ruang akan kan dai nak kan tong lan lo kan ma ni kan tang nak thai nak kan nai ding ngai.
I don't know if you know that little anagram. I think it's called push.
I don't
You
think.
don't think it's pray until something happen.
Ruang akan tong tai nak tomo tin tin nak tomo til dang zai mo kha kau.
But if we go to prayer and we believe somehow that God is not listening, that he knows we don't have enough faith, that we're not perfect, that then our understanding and our faith is going down.
Ruang akan tong tai han sang nak mo zai mo kan tong lo mo kan hong ngai ro kan kan lung nak lah ka chao mi hoi kan ngai.
I really believe that when Jesus says, when I will come on earth, will I find faith?
Ruang akan jikalau kedu tak no jadi suni kan ang kal ding tu sim nak tu lah kan lung nak kan lung ding tu sim mi tak se.
It's because many people and many Christians don't believe that God gives justice to his elect.
Ruang akan petian minung tampi mi tam tak ni kan petian dik nak lah lai rel nak lah he adik nak lah thai kalau tu lah kata tapi kan
He says, and he will answer, and he will answer rapidly because he loves them.
Ruang simple nami jo andai mi mo anhar mi tu sim mi jo sim pek na ding tu sim. Si comes adot na le za fa na ruang
So Jesus wanted that the Jew realized that God was more a God of mercy and grace than a God of judgment.
Ruang kan zat la ne kam kan thai reng le Jisu mi ziat la le za fa na nai ziat tu la kam kan thai reng bak si.
And to us he says today, come to me because I am your father.
Ruang sim mi jo kasin na kan hong pati.
And I'm not judging you because my judgment failed on Jesus Christ.
Ruang akan Jisu Jisu senakan kelahiran nak kelale tejong kelaka kung hap nan tu nak kelahiran nak siamat loro siam lo ti
When we realize that the position that we have in front of him, we won't be afraid to go to him and to pray until something happens.
ronga kan sinna kan kalchun la kan tong tai lung tak kan tong tai ting kan cham til jai mo kung lan lo ti
Now, I would like, I will stop there, but I would like, if you have time, that you study with the method that I've given you, that you study deeper a little bit that parable.
ค่าลูกบงไล่เรียนตู้ค่าได้สินเตอร์ดันต้อมกันสินเตอร์นามิกะปุ๊บเท่าหันกันนั่นห้องสินดิ่งนั่นห้องสินดิ่งกันนั่นห้องเรลดิ่งกันกันดูนะ
Answer the question on a piece of paper.
ค่าได้นักปลากะมีจ้องปลากะค่าสร้างนักกะชนะพัฒนากันห้องรีโน่ดิ
And then maybe come together and talk about it.
ค่ากันห้องพุทธลาและกันเอกเตนกันรวมมีตัวหันกันห้องสินนอลาระ
There's so much to learn from any of those parables.
มีเปรียบตาทิมนักตัวตกันกันแจ้คัดสินดิ่งมี
Do you have a question or something to say?
นี่ละกันเห็นตอมตัลนั่นเพียงเราไม่มองแต่ดิ่งมีนั่นไหนมีบางมานั่นไหนมีมาได้ดิ่งบาง
Hina tatim nak laka mi puthum teme pakhat jo numai pakhat jo larel tu tonle pakhat kha au kame kha thei fiak tak lo.
Here is he some confused. Here is mentioned widow and judge.
Yeah.
And three person that you mentioned. Which one is number 3 one that
The adversary is in verse 3.
Verse 3. Verse 3 nakakan. Let me read. Adversary.
The adversary.
Ini cukup kalai tahu laka hong kalampiak tuhan sena akal kumza. In our translation,
Yeah.
we don't have like adversary.
What do you have?
সেই শহরে একজন বিধবা ছিল সে বারবার এসে তাকে বলতো ন্যায় বিচার করে আমার বিপক্ষের বিরুদ্ধে রায় দিন ন্যায় বিচার and in English how it is written
It's the enemy. The adversary, the enemy.
Oh yes kalay daw yes enemy
Yeah.
kalay daw the enemy one is like adversary right
Yeah.
adversary kalay daw
Yeah,
tanak ka
adversary.
nak mi ka
Yeah.
adversary yes yeah thank you that's we got it
Good.
thank you yes that's good
Anyone else?
Nanairi ma dang dating me yeah actually
We
it's
are
good to learn
so happy when you ask question and when you participate. It touch our heart.
Yes.
Rồi nga tại nạc nan hong xiêm chun thoái kan alom nan hong hotel chun le kan thin lung ka nan hong kan sut pek ba kan tu cho
Anyone else?
nan này mi rima dai ding han
So parable
I
of
think.
Unjust judge, and it teaches about persistency in our prayer, asking
Yeah.
over and over.
Pero nga imi tatim nak kuha hinong ka sinter mi cho trong trai nạc là cả ta tốt trong trai đình nè
That's why
Nung talk
Jesus
lao han.
said, ask and keep on asking. That's what it means in the original Greek. Ask and
Đúng
keep
ạ.
on asking. Yeah.
original Greek ni kan Jisu ni simit huja ka meaning hung pek ni cho dayo cho dai han kum sao atnak tu ka si de
Don't lose heart.
an tin long ka nin ter lao mo bertakan siya tanak si
God is
yes
will answer prayer.
ro nga pathian cho diktak mi pathian ni si kan tong tai nak sang tu sto
Yes. Okay. Anyone
Amen.
else?
nai ri ma dai ding mit la chiang lo mi bang son
So there are many parables in the Bible. So you get one parable and then make an outline. Is it right, Evelyn?
Yes, they can do that with the one I gave now. I mean,
Okay.
this one, because there's still a lot of questions that can be
Yeah.
answered, or they can choose a parable and apply the same method.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Do you need this outline? This
Yes, I think we will need that. Yeah, please
okay.
send us that outline.
I
possible.
will send you.
So that we can follow. Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. So that we can follow that.
Great. Anything else? I know it's quite late now in your country. So God
Yes.
bless you and see
Yes.
you
Yes.
next week.
Oh, thank
Okay.
you. Thank you. Wonderful teaching.
Okay.
My name is
Thank you.
not lie. Yes. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Em
Thank
học
you.
Mira.
Look at that.
Bye-bye.
Here we
Take
have
care.
thumb up and love and the heart. And thank you. Thank you.
Bye bye. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.